Nords in the Fjord with Sassaran, the herald of cosplay.
And today, I'm walking on unknown path, through the forest where many have walked before me. This is the first time I'll be here. So you can see the path winds through pine trees, craggy rocks, and moss. This is the true beauty of Norwegian nature. You can go almost everywhere, pretty much anywhere, at any time, and see something beautiful and nice, even during the winter. And you can be alone or in company, but there's so many places you can travel alone, places you can get lost, both in direction and in fantasy. And it's also a very good place for people who likes to collect mushrooms, if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, these little buggers will probably either make you sick, kill you, or make you wish you were dead, or just taste really, really bad. This is just one of many commonly available pathways you can walk along the coast of Norway. You can see it's easy to travel here because people have been here before and made it traversable. You can see that amongst other things on that these stubs, here was a plant and here it has been cut straight off. And as you walk along the path, you can also see that there's very sparse or no vegetation at all. Not to mention the footprints in the mud. And the mud, of course. Mud is what happens when there's no plants to connect the earth, hold it in place. Also a common reason why there are mudslides occur, because all the mud slides away because there's nothing holding it back. Oh, here's a big old ancient rock, probably placed here by nature and the ocean a long time ago. And you can, as you can see, for once it's actually sunny in Norway. Here in the wasteland. And in between the trees you can see we're walking next to the ocean. And if we keep strolling along this path, I'm not entirely sure of where I'll end up, but I'm willing to give it a shot. This is why I'm walking here. Oh, it seems like we're going up now. And if you listen very carefully, you can't hear anything other than a buzzing of flies. There are no snakes, no bears, no wolves, nothing. But the only dangerous creature that lives here is man and deer. And deer does not like man very much. And if they catch a whiff of you, they're gone. Poof, like that. And usually you can't even hear them move through the forest. Also, when walking on days like this, it's highly recommended to bring snacks, and something to drink. Really recommended, because it can get hot, and the water needs some, and the body needs some water to sustain itself and perform better. Music is not recommended, because then you can't enjoy the silence or the company if you're with someone. As you can see here on the wasteland, it's very on west of Norway. It's a very wet place, so here you can see a swamp. You can notice, you can recognize it by the grass growing there. They like it wet. And you can see water in between. So that's a place that's not recommended to walk unless you have good footwear. Ooh, the path goes on. I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but I sure intend to find out. They even marked some of the trees with blue color to indicate that this is an easy path to take. Yep. How easy this traverse is often color marked, because someone has specifically gone through here and made it traversable. Another very awesome thing with nature here in Norway is that around this time of the year you will find blueberries everywhere. Very nice thing to take your children to do is to go somewhere, pick blueberries. They will eat half of them, the rest you can take home, eat with sugar, cream or milk, or you can, turn them into jam, whatever else you want to. It's a bit late in the season now, but if you see here, I found a berry. Oh, if you can just get focus on it. So yeah, wild blueberries. Quite tasty. Full of vitamin C. Don't recommend too many, because then you will get very runny. And nobody likes to stay on a throne of porcelain for very long. Ah, this is so wonderful. Ooh. I think this is some poison ivy actually working. Or something not poison ivy. This particular one is called caprifol. I'm not sure what the botanical name is. I just know it's quite toxic and likes to climb everywhere. Has some nice flowers and is by no means edible. Highly recommended to wash your hands especially after touching it. Otherwise you might get food poisoning, because it's quite toxic. Survivable, but so is alcohol. Another very common plant here in Norway on the coast is these red berries here. They're not very commonly eaten or recommended because they're not very good, but they're full of vitamin C, have some traditional herb uses, and otherwise colorful. Another one that has some berries, they're sort of okay, really depends on, is this plant here. They have black tiny little berries that's filled to the brim with seeds and a little bit of juice. They're sort of bitter, a little bit sweet. but the berries can be quite annoying to crunch. Of course, we also have this one. It's a very common plant here on the coast. And the berries of this you can collect when they're blue, apparently. And it's good for spice in food, and for adding, and essentially for good health as well. But mostly for taste. You collect them, dry them, and then you put them in food, or eat them raw. But only get the blue ones. As you can see, here is a fairly solid swamp. One of those things you can get quite nicely stuck in, because you will sink down. So somebody put a wooden bridge here, which is fairly nice of them. While the nature is nice and all, it can get a bit repetitive, mostly due to all the rocks everywhere and the sparse vegetation. Now here we can see the remains of a place where the farmers had sheep and rams and all of those. And there's and here is the end of the, and here is like a small, here is essentially where the ocean ends. And up there in the distance you can see a traditional stone fence made from the stones around here to hold the sheep inside. It's not a totally abandoned place, because somebody left a boat down here. 2 boats actually. A cabin in the middle of the forest and a bunch of logs. That is also a very common and popular Norwegian pastime. Travel into the middle of nowhere and having a great old time with little or no electricity, water or internal heating, because we have the space and the money to do that. Not everyone, but a lot of people have. And trust me, these things are expensive. And here you can see, quite next to the water. And, oh wait, never mind, this isn't salt water there. It is mostly salt, but it only gets refilled every time the water comes through the ocean with big waves. Because you can see a lot of dead shells. And, and shrimps. Not sure if you can see them on this lens. And some small fish as well. But you see the reason why I know it's not that salty, because there's very little or no kelp or similar things growing around here. We don't have much in the way of reed, but we have a lot of weed, not the smoking kind. We got this pesky thing that grows everywhere, has virtually no use, and no animals like to eat it. Now let's see, the path indicates that you can walk up there, but instead I'm going to just climb. Found it. As you can see, we're now practically in the middle of nowhere. and you can still find remnants of civilization. You just have to be a bit careful and traverse these rocks. They can be quite slippy when wet, so it's a good thing it's not raining or wet outside. So now the goal is to walk up there. It's gonna take a while, but I shall get there. You know, not at all. Because if I keep following the blue markers, you will see the path. That's easiest to take, and it will eventually lead to a drivable road. Ooh, here are some red berries. Those are fake ones. They don't taste very good, but they look like something like the pitback. The other cranberries, I suppose it's called. That you can, and it's recommended to put along with your beef and your red meat. Very tasty, highly recommended. And here you can see somebody bothered to drag a signpost out here. That path we walked is to Vikåsen. Fjord, and that path leads to the Bølgekraftvägen, which basically means that road leads to the wave power plant. The remnants of civilization out here, because man built it poorly. But let it be said that man can change nature, and if nature changes, man will not like the result. Don't take my word for it. Just look around you. Plastic pollution, turning nature into our private plaything, extracting oils, removing plants, exposing soil, causing erosions, dried up rivers, and deforestation. Sure, I will not change the global temperature or anything like that. I will just make it very miserable for the people who lives in the area. And now I'm walking in the middle of a swamp. But this part is mostly okay because it's not that wet. For a marsh, this is very mild. And here they put up a placard about the crane. Gråhigre Adria cinerea. It's a bird, in case you didn't know. Now I'm walking through a field of honeybees collecting food. If I walk carefully and step nowhere near the nest, they're relatively docile and will not try and murderize me to chase me away by sacrificing themselves. And here you can see the path I came from, and here is the path I'm going. So I'm gonna go that way and see where I end up. I mostly know where I will end up. It's still a long ways to go. Hopefully the phone will not run out of power. And in the distance you can see a traffic rail, which means I'm getting towards civilized road in the middle of nowhere, leading to a small settlement of private homes at the end, which I will make a video about one of these days, but not today because I'm almost out of power. And besides, it's going to take a while to get back to my home anyhow. Ooh, here you can see exposed quartz. White crystalline formations naturally occurring, apparently quite commonly used to make glass, high quality glass. And while I still have the power and the ability to do so, admire the handicraft of old Norwegian farmers stacking rocks to make cheap fence from natural materials, using nature to its fullest potential. Of course, now I have to jump over it and make sure that the rock on top is not a loose kind, so it topples over and rips down the fence. Not very recommended. And in general, people like the result. And remember to like and subscribe. This will be one of many episodes documenting Norway and nature walks and scenery, events and everything else relating to Norway. So see you around. Stay awesome. This is Asron signing out.